To our viewers around the United States, around the world, and on the internet and in mental institutions everywhere, we welcome you to the first annual Young Turks Yet Another Debate. I would like to begin by first admonishing our audience here at the Young Turks. I don't want to hear any cheering or rooting for your candidate of choice. I don't want to hear a peep out of anybody. If you do say anything, you will be fired, and you'll be replaced, by a limbless Chinese iPhone worker. Now, our candidates are all here. They are assembled here. It's so great to see all of you. I should first say that you look very different. Senator Santorum and his vest. Yes. You're both here. Good to see you.
Hello, Brian, and I'd like to thank you for not letting anyone cheer because I don't have any supporters here. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Representative Ron Paul, you are here as well. Nice to see you, sir.
As the only representative on this stage of true liberty and conservatism, I'm glad to be here.
Terrific. And then Mitt Romney, there to your right, sir. Welcome to the debate. Glad to see you.
Thank you, Brian. It's great to be here. Thank you for coming to be with us, to be with Tag, Matt, Josh, Ben, Craig, my sons, my wife, Ann.
Jesus.
And
he
wow.
Can't help you now, Rick.
Can you name everyone in the Tabernacle Choir?
I just did, Brian.
You did. And, of course, the former Speaker of the House, Mr. Newt Gingrich.
Can we start the debate, please?
Mr. Speaker.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear. I will be the nominee. So take that, Dr. Paul.
Always your humility. I'm going to quickly go around the horn here. I'd like you to keep your answers very brief. By the way, if you do go a little longer, you're going to hear a sound. And that sound will be my voice telling you to shut up. Okay, quickly, in preparation of the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ, what freeze-dried foods do you have in your cupboard? Mr. Santorum. Quickly.
Wow, it's a question I didn't expect. I think it's a good question. I think it's an important question that we need to give a lot of time and thought to before we rush into an answer that might alarm the American people. Thank you, Brian.
Okay, good. Representative Paul.
Well, if the government would just get out of our way, we could fill our refrigerators with food. But with all these regulations and the electrical standards and the...
Thank you. Mr. Romney, this is in your wheelhouse.
Yes, it's a foie gras. It is a fatted goose liver delicacy, and I have it freeze-dried.
Okay, and Mr. Speaker.
Let me be clear. I would have had more food if Goldman Sachs and Freddie Mac, which has been giving money to this gentleman all along, had not taken that food out of the mouths of the people of Florida and myself.
Freddie Mac, man, you know, Brian, if
you have been lying about this all along.
If he gets to speak, I get to speak.
Okay.
Freddie Mac is his employer. He should have been in there telling them not to give me money, but he didn't. He took money from them, and so did I.
I'd appreciate it if you let me ask a question first. The first question. And the first question, if you can, Mr. Speaker, if you just hold on for a second, we'll go to Mr. Romney. Mr. Romney, you have a beard.
Yeah,
Would you like to take a moment to address why you have a beard?
The man who shaves me is on holiday, and I've just let this go. I mean, I'm sure all of you have people who shave you, but mine is away. So I let the beard grow.
And I want to follow up on along the lines of shaving. Your father, George Romney, was born in Mexico. Your beard and the fact that your father is or was from Mexico, how does that make you feel empathy or feel simpatico, as it were, with the Florida Latino working class voter?
Muchas gracias for asking that question, Brian. Honestly, muchas gracias. I think that when I look at my father and what he did, and you know, every dollar I earned, every single dollar I earned. All the money I have, I earned. And I earned it on the backs of a lot of people. But
especially the Mexicans.
Well, Newt, come on.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker.
Let me be clear. ¿Cómo está?
Again.
That was well put, Newt. That was well put.
Senator Santorum, would
yes,
you like to respond?
There are people here at this end of the table.
Would you like to respond to this assertion that because Mr. Romney is bearded, and the fact that his father was from Mexico, that he feels that he's very connected to middle-class, working-class voters in Florida, especially the Latino bloc?
I would like to address men with beards, because it is something that I have spent a lot of time thinking about, and the role that men with beards play in American society. There's been a lot of talk about how I feel about homosexuals, many of whom, of course, have beards. And I just want to be clear that I think that people should be able to marry whomever they want. It doesn't really matter, as long as one person is a man and one person is a woman. I think that's what's critical. But, you know, I have a lot of friends who are not heterosexual. Many friends who aren't heterosexual, and I love them. We love to spend time with them, and they should be able to have a relationship with a dog or a sheep or a pony if they like.
Brian, this man is not going to win. For him to just keep going and going like this seems unfair.
Well, let me direct a question directly.
Let me be clear. Speaking of loving men, I love Ronald Reagan more than any of these people, times 10.
That is, I'm glad that you brought that up, Mr. Speaker, because as you know today, there has been some assertions made that that Ronald Reagan was not fond of you, that the two of you had a bit of some kind of strained relationship. How do you respond to that?
Brian, you liberal media scum. That's how I respond to it. How dare you? What an audacious lie to say that. Ronald Reagan and I hugged tightly on many occasions.
You know,
we share all of our views together.
If I could jump in there on hugging tightly, my wife Karen and I were at dinner just a few days ago with an old college friend of mine, Mitch, and Mitch's date was a Bengal tiger. And I don't think there's anything at all wrong with that as long as they don't get married.
Senator, let me follow that up with this
Please,
question.
thank you.
I don't know, you may be aware that Los Angeles Mayor Anthony Villaraigosa has signed a law requiring all male porn actors in Los Angeles to wear condoms while they are working. How do you feel about that? Is that government going too far, or do you support this effort to put all male porn actors in body bags?
Well, I don't, of course, support putting them in body bags because that would be, Brian, a waste of body bags.
Let me follow this up, too. Let's hold the comments from the crowd, all right? Please, please. A prominent North Carolina pastor today, in a discussion with the Americans for Truth about homosexuality, said that gay men need to wear a diaper. He went on to say, and I quote, "I know of a case where in a hospital a homosexual male had a cell phone lodged in his anus, and as they were operating on him, the phone went off and the phone started ringing." Who was on the other end of that phone, Senator?
That's a question I think we'd all like the answer to, and in a Santorum administration, I would devote the full resources of my administration toward finding out who made that call, because these guys talk a lot about the economy and what's wrong with the economy. This guy, hey, Rick Santorum, how you doing? I'm not sure we've met. But the important thing are these social issues that Americans are obsessed with, and they want to know who's on the end of a phone in surgery inside a gas station.
I think the real leadership is required here. When I was Speaker of the House, I had so many different bills about diapers and men with diapers, and we got together, and even though we were working with Bill Clinton, we passed legislation on men with diapers. None of these men have done anything similar.
As the only candidate on this stage who is wearing undergarments, I think that it's important that you understand, and when I say specific undergarments, that you understand that when you were Speaker of the House, you were then rolled out of town. They came in and they practically impeached you. They threw you out on ethics charges.
That is absolute baloney, and let me be clear about this. Black people get food stamps.
Moderator, are there any rules to this debate?
That's so amusing. Your underwear, presumably burlap, magical as well.
In fact, yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. Thanks for asking, Brian.
Representative Paul, we have a series of questions for you two coming up.
Thank you. Ask away.
But do you think that this condom rule goes too far? Is
I
that government
think the
going too
government's
far?
got to get out of your anus and off your beard.
All right, that's what I thought you would say. You are watching the Young Turks and yet another debate. We have much more important issues, many more important issues to cover right after this message.